Better Call Saul Season 6 Episode 6 Ending Explained. It's our third slightly slower paced, more thought-provoking episode since we saw Nacho's demise in Episode 3. Although not an action-filled special, there was still quite a bit to take away from it, so let's jump into the episode. Here is Better Call Saul Season 6 Episode 6 Ending Explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. The episode opened up with us getting a little bit of a backstory and a glimpse into a moment in Kim's childhood. We saw her in the back of a store after it appeared as though she'd been caught shoplifting some jewelry. Her mother was called and she appeared to go all in on Kim in front of the manager, as almost a way of coming across as a good parent and avoiding getting the police involved. It felt as though her mother had been involved in many situations like this in the past, and was used to what was the right thing to say, how to act, and what to do to get off of the hook. We saw Kim looking relatively timid and shy in her moments of being caught, and even when she managed to get out of the store without any charges, she looked the same. Her mother, however, took a drastic shift in her persona and the way that she was acting, and she was almost proud of what Kim did, and her mother then went on to steal something to give to Kim herself. You could see as Kim was handed the stolen jewelry that she had this blank look to her face. The fact that no thanks was uttered, you could see the confliction in Kim's mind about what road and path she would want to go down in the future. Her mother wasn't your stereotypical mother by the looks of things. Most parents would punish their child for getting caught shoplifting, and wouldn't be laughing about it the moment that they walked out of the store. Kim's family life, upbringing, and environment after this glimpse was definitely something that you could see had an influence on her nature towards people and the eventual path that she led to live. As the episode went on, we made a few revelations, or should I say the seed was sown for some future revelations. We watched Howard Hamlin go about his morning routine, where he's still hung up on his wife. It appeared as though they're not together at the moment, staying in separate rooms, but it seemed as though Howard still wanted to be with her. We got the sense of that due to when he mentioned how they could both go to the conference. She replied with no, which made me think that she was the one who wanted to end the relationship. This is likely also a reason why he was seeing a therapist a few episodes ago. Howard's PI had been snapping Jimmy over the course of a few days and he didn't really get that much. Just his usual routine other than going to the bank on one occasion and drawing out tens of thousands of dollars, which Howard had no clue what it could be used for. But I'm sure we will eventually find out. Jimmy recently did a refit of his place, so I would assume it could potentially be that. After this, we went on to see Jimmy and Kim go and see the vet, who is a character that we've seen before who essentially treats criminals who want to go under the radar and not draw attention to the injuries that they have, hence his coded black book full of contacts. This was then when we saw the best quality vacuum service card that we saw in last week's preview. Kim was the person who noticed it, but it was only subtly, so I think maybe it might come back in a couple of episodes' time where she remembers it. Or maybe she hears about it from somebody and looks to take up the offer herself. For those that don't know, the best quality vacuum service essentially allowed you to drop your old life and pick up a new identity. The way things went at the end of the episode, and her current mindset leads me to believe that she could well be in a position where she needs a new identity by the end of the show, due to the fact that it seems as though everything is taking over and she's throwing caution to the wind. In this scene as well, Jimmy was essentially given something that dilated his pupils. Again, we don't really know much about what this is or what its purpose was due to the fact that not much was given away. It's definitely something to do with his plan, due to the fact that it's on the board that they were crossing off, and whatever they did, it was complete due to the fact that it was the penultimate day before D-Day. We saw Kim confirm strength and respect for Howard Hamlin in front of Cliff Main, to ensure that he didn't think that she was involved in any plan to take Howard down. With that, she was offered the opportunity to meet the Jackson Mercer Foundation, which we saw was the opportunity of a lifetime for Kim. With this, and after Kim's speech, Cliff was none the wiser that she could be involved in any plan or linked with Jimmy in the events that Howard informed Cliff about. Once this had happened, we then got a section with Lalo, a small one at that, still in Germany, following the closing scene in episode 5 where he noticed the side rule manufacturer's label. He went to visit one of Werner's boys from back in the day, which was a surprise to him due to the fact that he was wondering how he'd been found. No real information was revealed about the purpose of Lalo being there, however it did provide us with the most action-packed scene that we've had in weeks, which I think is saying something to the tone of the episode and its alignment to the wider plot. A lot of planning and thinking is going into Kim and Jimmy's plan, and it appears that the show has decided to approach the season in that way. Slow building with a crescendo in the mid-season finale is what I imagine. In this episode, we got very little involvement from Mike and no involvement from Gus, which was intriguing. But what we did get from Mike was valuable. We saw that he has removed men from covering his house, which has led to an already paranoid Gus getting suspicious, but you can sense that it's starting to creep into Mike slightly, but more so maybe around his family's safety, due to the fact that he was lying about his location to his daughter and granddaughter, and was watching his granddaughter grow up from afar in a window across the street. He's doing it to keep them protected, and you can see the pain and suffering in his eyes and tone of voice when he's on the phone. My only issue is the fact that we as the audience can see what Lalo is up to, and right now it doesn't feel like he's that close to catching up with them just yet. However, we do see the crippling fear that it has been giving them. Maybe that's the point. To highlight what you don't know can often be more fearful. The final part of Jimmy's plan came to fruition and was ticked off of the list when Francesca made the call to Howard Hamlin's firm and got the meeting invite and code to a call that was taking place regarding the Sandpiper case, which is something that we'll likely see in the mid-season finale. The final thing that we saw in the episode, just shortly after Jimmy and Kim toasting to D-Day, was us picking up with them on D-Day specifically. We saw Kim go off to the Dream Conference, and Jimmy head into a liquor store to pick up a bottle of something that we've seen before on a few occasions in the past, more recently in season 4 of the show, where Jimmy and Kim were drinking it after finding out about Chuck. Once Jimmy was in the queue, he noticed Casimiro with a broken arm. We didn't have any context really about why it was a large moment, only that we knew that Jimmy was shooting something earlier on in the episode with somebody who was going to be impersonating him. So the broken arm would have thrown off the film that they had and ruined the final part of the plan, especially if they were planning to use it as evidence. They likely had Casimiro in a damning situation, but the broken arm wouldn't match up to the time period or the claim that they were making. We saw Jimmy phone Kim as she was on her way to the conference, and then once she found out, she did a U-turn on the highway, stating how D-Day had to be today, and drove back in Jimmy's direction before cutting to black. Again, this week's episode was a slow-paced burner that will hopefully come together in the mid-season finale. There are a lot of loose ends that need to be tied up before the show takes a break, and I'm hoping D-Day will be as explosive as it promises to be. If you want to check out some more Better Call Saul content, then I've been covering the entirety of Season 6 on the channel, so feel free to head over there or alternatively hit the I button now. Or if you'd like to suggest another show or concept that you'd like me to cover, then head over to my Twitter @BrainPilot_ and drop me a tweet. Are you looking forward to the mid-season finale? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.